PS Vita. That's right, a damn PS Vita. I actually own one of these. It's just been sitting around ever since Persona 4 Golden was released on Steam. I even jailbroke it. I'm a master technician. But why was I given such an odd device? It was practically a Nintendo Switch prototype that should have been successful, except Sony fumbled the bag. Wait, that's it! I'm supposed to clobber Sony about this! Yep. In earlier videos from the Christmas special, I talked about what causes video games to fail, and it's only fair to do the same for a console that honestly had everything going for it, yet became an ungodly failed experiment for Sony. I can't comprehend how many games were on this console, 1,306 to be exact. Yet I've only heard of, not played, heard of like 10 max. That's gotta be a problem, and if you felt the same way when you realized this, you aren't the only one. A chunk, and by a chunk, I mean most of the fucking library, had games that were already released on other consoles like PS3, PSP, and PC. So that slims the Vita exclusives down a bit, and the ones that are left are shitty for the most part. I would say it's a good argument to make that the only good Vita exclusive was Persona 4 Golden, which was solely released on the Vita and PlayStation TV. Forgot that existed back in 2012. And even that's bullshit now, because Golden released on Steam not too long back, so really, the Vita had no good exclusives to back it. But that wasn't so bad. The ports from other consoles weren't terrible and didn't even make for most of the complaints about the console. On top of that, some leeway can be given to the Vita as it was completely ahead of its time. This leads me, however, to my next point. Everybody remembers the disaster that was PlayStation 3 Remote Play. Sony had this big marketing pitch that made it seem like if you had a PS Vita, you could play most PS3 titles on the go anywhere you went. The problem was that none of this was even remotely true. PS3 Remote Play worked with 28 games in the PS3 lobby out of 2,281. You heard that correctly. PS3 Remote Play supported 28 out of over 2,000 titles, and the whole play on the go gimmick really wasn't true. You could play within the vicinity of the PS3 with your Vita, but if you went outside for a walk, bye-bye connection. PS4 Remote Play was far better than its predecessor, but that didn't really matter. The Nintendo Switch, God, I hate the Nintendo Switch, was already announced and bound for success, so for the Vita, it was back to square one, where it would stay until this day. Sony has given up on the PS Vita, which is just terrible and goes to show you that when I said Sony didn't give a shit, I meant it. The PS Vita's issues stem from a long period of Sony being a bunch of bitches, library issues, and marketing blunders that misled fans and ultimately led to the success of the Nintendo Switch. That's right. I said it, the failure of the PS Vita was exactly what made the Switch so damn popular. And I firmly believe that in an alternate universe, the Vita and Switch created one of the biggest gaming industry rivalries in history. Why do I believe this? Because the Vita was a good console. Notice how I never said the Vita was a trash attempt at portability by Sony. It was great and had features that wouldn't be seen again by the gaming industry until October of this year. It's truly a shame, and this will probably go down as Sony's biggest fumbled bag, which, fun fact, was kind of how the PlayStation was made, except it was, ironically, Nintendo who fumbled the bag on that one, so call it even. Thanks for tuning in to the final 12 Days of Christmas video before Christmas Day. Woohoo! Christmas Day's video is super hilarious, and I hope you guys enjoy it when it comes out on Christmas morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Put that shit in your calendars. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like, comment if you own a PS Vita or not, and subscribe and click the bell so you can get magical powers. My superpower was going to see No Way Home on opening night. God, that was incredible. Again, tomorrow's Christmas video will be up at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, so make sure to tune into the premiere so you can talk to me, the guy who makes all of this possible. Catch you guys then. Bye-bye.